You know, one of the most common questions we get about chain link fence is, what are those fittings called and what all do I need to build a chain link fence? So today, we came right outside to talk about chain link fence fittings and what you need to build a chain link fence. But first, let's talk about this post. Could we have gone and found a brand new post with brand new fittings? Sure, but that post just started its fence life and it hasn't earned being on video yet. This post has been with Ozark Fence for a while. It's been doing its job, arguably maybe longer than I've been doing my job here. Is it the prettiest post? No. You know what? At Ozark Fence, we don't judge a book by its cover, and we don't judge a post and its fittings by their finish. If it's doing a good job, we're gonna let it keep doing a great job. That being said, let's get into the content. You know, when we're talking about chain link fence, there's three pieces of fence that get all the praise. It's your line post, it's your top rail, and it's your terminal post or gate post. But you know what? No one talks about the unsung heroes of the chain link world, and that's the fittings. Without fittings, the whole thing comes apart. All right, so first thing you're gonna need is your tension bar. Can you do it without a tension bar? Maybe, but with a tension bar, it's pretty important. It distributes all the tension evenly along the full height of the wire. Without the tension bar, it's gonna look sloppy. It's gonna look like a mess. You gotta have the tension bar. Next up is your tension band. Tension band attaches your tension bar to the post. Now, the tension band looks a lot like a brace band, but it's different. It's got an offset here so that your chain link wire sits on the outside of the post, which is important when you're trying to get it past the line post. If you used a brace band, would it work? Maybe, but it wouldn't look professional. Speaking of a brace band, what does a brace band do? Well, I'll tell you. It holds up the rail end, which holds up the top rail. If you don't have this brace band, this whole mess falls apart. Now, can you use a tension band instead of a brace band? Maybe, but it's gonna look weird. See, a brace band doesn't have an offset, and the reason is you want your top rail running right down the line of the fence. You don't want it offset. The wire's offset to fit on the outside of the top rail. Do yourself a favor, get a brace band, not a tension band. This is to show you the difference between a brace band and a tension band. They are both the same diameter. In this case, they are both fit a 2 3/8 inch post. We call it 2.5 inch nominal post. The difference is the offset. So, the tension band has an offset to where when you attach the tension bar, it sits on the outside of the post. You will notice that the brace band is not offset. It is actually centered. So that when it holds the rail end and the top rail, that top rail will go over top of the post, whereas the chain link needs to sit on the outside of the top rail. Therefore, one is offset and one is not. This is a brace band. This is a tension band, and that is the difference between the two. All right, without a rail end, your top rail, it's gonna be loosey-goosey. There's nothing holding it on. Now, Joe, can I weld this thing on a post? Maybe, but that's not what we're talking about today. It could work, but it's not what we're talking about. A rail end is a cup that holds your top rail to your brace band to the post, keeps it from getting all loosey-goosey. All right, so you might think we're done with the fittings, but we're not. One of the most unsung heroes of the unsung heroes on the fittings on this fence is gonna be the tie wire. Without this tie wire, your wire's gonna be all loosey-goosey. If you take nothing away from this video but one thing, we don't want this fence to be loosey-goosey. Get plenty of tie wires. What does this chain do, you ask? Nothing. It holds the gate on. It's not part of the fence. It's not a fence fitting. Forget about the chain. All right, recap. Tension band spreads the tension of the wire along the entire height of the wire itself. Next up, tension band holds the tension bar to the post. Follow that up with a brace band. It is not a tension band. A tension band is different than a brace band. Brace band holds the rail end, the cup that the top rail goes inside of. Last, but arguably most important, the tie wire holds the wire to the top rail. But Joe, you forgot insert other fitting. I know this. We're talking about the most common fittings when building a chain link fence. These are the most common. If you think there's another fitting that's more important than one of these fittings, drop it in the comments below. We'll discuss it. I love talking to you guys in the comments. But until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. Now go build some fence.